So we've gone over let me zoom out here, 4 different body types. Over the last 3 months, we've had pretty much humanish forms that just had some elf ears, so I call them elves, but that's like Link, and some of the more human ones that we've done. We've had the shark people that had those great big long torsos, really stubby legs, really long arms, fish heads. We've had the rock guy, which was really big and round, more sumo wrestler style. And then we had the birds, which had that real long torso and different leg shapes for sure, and also wings, of course. So we've done them all pretty much standing or in one movement pose. So this last class, I really wanted to bring the action to our anatomy and action class and do some action poses, and then apply some of these body types to those poses. So let's grab some paper. I'm not going to fold this one. I think we're just going to start sketching in wherever we can fit them. We're going to do it thumbnail, roughly thumbnail size. I'll leave my whole paper on the screen so you can kind of see the scale of my drawings. So let's start out somewhat easily in our little warm up here with one where we'll have the character just kind of bending over. So there's my spine or my line of action. I'm bending over, seeing something. Not in a sideways view though. We're going to have some foreshortening in here. So I'm going to indicate that right away by putting kind of an oval for the shoulders to show the thickness of this body diminishing to the back. So I can get my foreshortening in there. Oh, there's Michaela. Let's let her in. Then I'll sketch out where I want my legs.
Hi, Mikey.
Hey there.
Hi. Oh, hey, Kristen.
Good afternoon.
It's our last anatomy class, so we're going to do some action poses.
Oh, yeah, I forgot these were the last ones.
Yeah. Then I'm going to put a little oval for the head. No neck, since the neck is going to be covered up by foreshortening, overlapping. And if you've ever tried to bend this far over, you'll find it's very straining on your legs. So you either brace yourselves by putting your hands on your knees or thighs, or you have to have a stick or something to prop you up. So maybe we'll do one of each. Let's say this hand is grabbing onto some kind of stick or support. Or it could be a weapon, a spear, whatever you like later on. And we'll say the other hand is going back and on the leg there somewhere. Now that we've got our little gesture, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can start placing some anatomy on here. Let's focus that. So normally I start off with the neck. We can't see the neck, so we get to skip that. And we'll start working on this arm. And just think about all the information you've already soaked up to this point. You know that there's a bulge for the shoulder. You just know it because you've drawn it so many times. And you know that the chest connects into the arm, so you know there's a line there already. You know that bony joints like the elbows are going to be straight lines. And you know the elbow connects right in. For the lower part of the arm, you know one side is going to be straight and the other side is going to be curved. There's usually 2 ways we indicate that. We either find the thumb and we put it on the thumb side, or we just follow the elbow up and that becomes our straight line. The other one would have to become our curvy line. We aren't going to mess too much with the fingers, so I'm just going to put one little finger line there, and then the rest is going to become kind of like a mitten. Just going to lump all those fingers together. You can thicken up the stick if you want to, or just color it in. And the other arm we have going away from us. So even though this is in perspective, the elbow is going to be generally halfway down. So if I give myself a little mark or a little oval to indicate that, it would be helpful. And again, we know the shoulder is going to have a nice big muscle on top. Comes down into a point somewhat. And the rest of that arm is going to go into the elbow. We can use the thumb version this time for our lower arm. If my thumb is on that side, that'll be my curvy side. Otherwise, you could think about the elbow on the back of this arm, and that would be the straight side. And these fingers will be wrapping around the leg once we have a leg. So I'll again just put little mitten on the end. The torso we don't have to do much with because it is so foreshortened. But we know a knee will be somewhere in the middle there. And we can go ahead and stick the lower legs on because we know that there's a bulging muscle near the knee, and then it gets straighter. The other side pretty straight because we have that shin bone on that side, very close to the skin. And we'll just stick on a little triangle for the foot for right now. On this other side, same thing, we'll have the muscle up at the top, straighter at the ankle. When we think of ankles, we know one is higher than the other. If you just remember that they're pointing inward, upward and inward, outside ankle lower, inside ankle higher. And that foot wedge is going to go right in between those ankles. Toe box. Then for the thighs. In a sideways view, we know the back of the knee doesn't have much of anything, so it's just a straight little line there. And then we bulge out for muscle. Kneecap is going to be that little angle. And again, we're going to bulge some muscle. We didn't talk about the glutes too much, but we do know that they exist, so we'll add a little curve at the top here. Clean that up so you can see it better. And our thigh is going to go just slightly on the inside of that curve. The other one, I doubt you'll be able to see it unless your arm is positioned differently from mine, but you can always go back to that visualization of underwear, legs sticking right into the pelvis to figure out the rest that's underneath his arm here being underlapped by the knee. And if we were to finish off the face, just to indicate some facial features, we need our nose line. We would need an eye line. We're going to try out that eyebrow dent like we've been doing in Big Cat class. So I'm just going to take a chunk right out of the side there and lightly have a guideline coming around the front. Following that same angle. This guy's head got a little bit tall, so I'm going to shorten it down a little bit. And then we know the nose is going to be right on that nose line. Nose connects right to the eyebrows. I'm just going to stick in some little dots for eyes because this is too small to do any real detail. But that's where the eyes would go. And then depending on what he's looking at, he might be frowning, smiling, surprised. You can put whatever kind of mouth you want. And since he's humanoid looking, I'm going to make him into one of the Hyrulean elves, just like Link is an elf. So I'll give him a pointy ear. We have our first little taste of foreshortening there. I'm going to move on to my next one. Let's do one of those bird people, and we'll have a wing coming right toward the camera. Do some nice foreshortening there. So again, I'm going to first get my general line of action. We're going to do something kind of like this, with this wing coming forward and then everything else going back. So how do I get that foreshortening in there? I'm going to sketch out where the top of the shoulders are. Since they're coming forward, I'm going to put an oval right in there. We'll put the head overlapping right on top of that, and I'm going to make it kind of a diamond, not diamond, almond shape. So those birds have the feathers in the back and the beak in the front, so it's a little easier just to put down an almond shape. And I want this wing to come toward me. If we know anything about foreshortening and size, we know that when things get closer to the camera, they get bigger looking. So I'm going to make this shape get a whole lot bigger as it comes toward me, but I don't want it to get long. In other words, I don't want to do this. That's a different view. I want it to come forward. So I have to keep it short and also make it wide. So let's go ahead and make it real wide and real short. There's one wing. The other wing, let's say it's going in the opposite direction. So it's going to get smaller as it goes away, but it still has to get wider at the tip. So even though it's going away from me, this part is going to be big, this part's going to be small.
So wait, what is this?
This is going to be a Rudo.
Oh, bird. I really like the bird people a
They're
lot.
cool.
I think it's because they've got like a bit of variety and they're colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And I like birds in general.
Yeah. Then from the shoulders, I'm going to come and bring that body swooping toward our line of action. Maybe to about there is the end of his torso.
Are you in your class right now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, which one lady in everyone's ready?
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mom.
You don't want to. You want to wait till after?
If that's okay.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
It's fine.
Then these guys basically have two parts to their legs. They've got this big, puffy, what we'd call a thigh, but is really their feathers, and then they've got their bird legs. So
I really like that drawing.
What's that?
I really like that drawing, like comparing all the different races to each other.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
So this one's going to be coming forward. We're going to have that shape get bigger, but it has to stay short. Because foreshortening short.
You know, in your first drawing list, my first interpretation was they're using their wings to run.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
Oh, that was it?
And that's it.
And then we're going to have the rest of the leg go back. So that's going to get smaller as it goes back. And then we'll have some kind of bird foot on the end there. They have 2 toes or 3 in the front? I don't remember. I'll just put 2 for now.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they have that generally.
2? Okay. The other one, we might not be able to see it. Maybe we'll be able to see it. It would be in the back, even smaller because it's farther away. Get rid of my plot lines here. My don't do that lines.
Birds are such cool creatures.
And then we'll stick on a tail swooping right back from that torso. And just put a little shape on the end there.
Have you ever seen that one video of a bird who like sticks their head into a cup and starts screaming?
No.
What?
Yeah. Let me zoom in now that we've got our basic shapes. Get focus. There we go. Now we're going to make this into a wing rather than into a indistinct puddle. So we need some feathers on here. So I'm going to start putting in some little shark fin shapes as negative space to separate out some of these feathers. Again, they have to be really short because of foreshortening. If I make them too long and start going like that, suddenly it's going to look weird. They're not going to have any wing left. So I got to keep those real short. And we'll start overlapping once we get to the edge here with just a few. We also want to indicate that the lower part of the arm is closer to us than the upper part of the arm, so we can use overlapping lines here and there to kind of give that sensation. Let me clean up my drawing so you can see it better. Give that sensation that this part is in front of this part, and this part is in front of this part, and that part is in front of that part. So we'll have just those tiny little overlapping lines that give a lot of information.
Oh, Betsy, did you ever draw any Gerudo?
Yes, we did Urobosa and Riju.
I don't
Otherwise known as the big gypsy lady with the nose. Yeah. So then for this one, the opposite is true. I want this shoulder to be the closest to me, so that's going to have those overlapping lines. Then the upper part of the arm is pretty much straight. And then we get into the feathers. And they will be less detailed, less distinct because of density. We don't talk about density too much, but density meaning things that are farther away are less detailed. Michaela's learning about this as she does her underwater city and realizes you don't really put in that much detail because it's far, far away. And then, let's see if I have, I don't remember what his face looks like that much, but I'm pretty sure he has an eye on the side here. And a pretty big beak. You'll see a little bit of that eye also. But needs to be skinnier because of foreshortening.
It's just a specific character, or
We're reviewing how to put them in action. So we're going to do one of each race all in action, and then if we have any time left, we can finish it as an actual drawing. But first we're going to go ahead and get some action-y poses, which actually look pretty good when you do like 4 or 5 on one piece of paper. Even if they're not finished drawings, just the number of drawings on the piece of paper looks pretty impressive. I'm going to go ahead and clean up which line I like the best for the upper part of his leg here. And with his lower leg, we're going to use some contour to help us show that this part is going away from us. So we're using our curving lines, curving this way, down and around there. And then for the toes, curving down. I feel like that foot wouldn't stick out that much. And if you're not sure, you can always draw through. So I'm going to draw through super lightly here and figure that maybe the foot would be there. A little closer than I originally thought. I'm going to use the same contour lines, but I'm going to make them even a deeper curve because they're really going away from us. And then for the tail, I'll just add 1 or 2 feathers to show that it is a tail. And if you were going to draw a shirt or something on this bird, you probably need to know where the center line is. So I'm just going to lightly sketch that in. So if he had like a V-neck on, that V would end up right on the line. Or even if he had a feather pattern or a coloring pattern that had some V's, that V would go right on the line. So we've got our 2 drawings there. Let's go on to our next one with our Goron. Let's say he's doing like a jump strike from above. So over on this side of my paper, since the Gorons we know have a really big body type, I'll go ahead and start with a circle. We're going to be looking up at him, so his head is going to be way up there.
Christian lost sound.
Oh, can
Check
you
the
hear?
chat.
Maybe she's just going to watch and draw because she lost sound, huh? Okay, just following, got it. Then we'll draw 1 leg down and 1 leg up.
It keeps going to her face even though she's not making any sound.
What was that?
It keeps going to her face even though it's not making sound.
That's weird. But you can pin whatever video you want
Yeah.
to the front there. I forget what their feet look like, but I think they just have little feet.
I really like your drawings of these because, you know, a lot of times in these games, like, these characters can't be very poseable.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I always love fan art, is because it shows characters in ways that usually you can never really get in other places.
Yeah. Particularly in the video game, I think they're all just kind of standing there, right?
Yeah, except for like cutscenes.
Yeah. You've got one big arm over there.
Also, it's cool because you don't really see Gorons that often, like in fan art.
No, I don't know why. I think they're awesome. Kobo. And we've got a giant lower arm and a giant hand.
Usually, the only way these guys attack, as far as I remember, is like they roll up into a ball and hit you.
Yeah, I think
Which I
so.
guess, yeah, so I guess it saves on animation.
Yeah. Maybe this guy will be dancing then instead of attacking. And then the other arm, let's say it's down here.
Thankfully, I'm doing this on digital, so I can just, move the drawings around.
Yeah, that's another part of the convenience of digital art. Just move it around wherever it needs to go. Now we can get in here, draw some eyes.
I'm curious, do you actually plan on playing this game?
I'm trying to figure out if my brother will give me his copy, because he said he finished playing it, but he's in Japan and it costs like $80 to send anything from Japan. So he's like, isn't it just cheaper if you buy your own? I'm like, yeah, but if you're gonna send us a package anyway, then just fit the game in there too. Usually he sends a package for like Christmas or let's see, when else?
Yeah, so when will it arrive?
Usually like New Year's. So if he sends one during Christmas, I don't know, depending on like coronavirus is like slowing down the mail system. So it might not be till next year. I don't know. But he hasn't actually said if he's sending a Christmas box this year yet. So it might be just easier to buy my own copy.
Yeah.
And then
I hope he gets you, because I was recently looking at like my game statistics on my profile, and I've played it says I've played 330 hours playing Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can tell I like it a lot.
Yeah, I know it won like Game of the Year and a whole bunch of other awards too, and everybody seems to really like it. So I thought maybe I should play this. The only problem is, like, I really don't like open world games, and that's why everybody said it was the best, because it was open world. I'm like, I just want to play a story, so.
There is a story if you actually like follow it.
Yeah.
Because there is like a path like you can take that's that's scripted.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have the option to not you also have the option to just no holds barred, just run straight to Ganon's castle after you get out of the tutorial area.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. There's a bunch of different stuff to do. I was recently replaying a little bit of it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, although I've done like most of the stuff and I restarted my game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like doing a bunch of the, tiny, like, little, like, what's it called? Like just the mostly like side quests, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm just like finding all the Korok seeds and stuff, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think.
And up here too.
Oh, I'm looking at your thing and I realized, oh, I made his leg too long.
Oh, well, you're in digital, so you can just manipulate that.
Yeah, that's a very nice digital thing I can do.
I think this guy had like crazy hair, right?
Yeah, or they can not have it. I don't know. It's like different.
Not have any hair?
Yeah, it's from individual to individual.
Oh, okay, well, I'll give him some hair here. And then for his bottom hand, I don't know what his bottom hand is doing, but go ahead and put on a thumb.
Oh yeah, I just gotta warn you though, if you play the game, I'll tell you, the Zora area where it's like you're offered to go to like 4 different kingdoms to slay 4 divine beasts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to tell you, the one in the I'm trying to remember what they're called, the fish,
The Zora?
yeah, the Zora area is the first one, so it's the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
And the one in the Gerudo Desert is the hardest.
Oh, it's the hardest, okay. Do Gorons only have 3 fingers? I kind of think they do.
I don't know, I could look it up. Hold on. Breath, O-D-T-W, Goron. No, I don't want Goron City, I want a Goron. Show me. Oh, they have 5 fingers.
Oops, well, too bad. Not in my drawing. So let's say for this last fish person, we're going to have them swimming through the sea. Swish. So then about here, I'm going to put the head. And then we'll put the shoulders so that we can have a nice long, lean body. I'm going to go ahead and put an eye line on here. We can kind of see where they're going.
I'm curious, for you, what's your favorite race out of all these guys?
My favorite was always the Goron. They were just so much more friendly than the Zora. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that. But the Rudo weren't in the Zelda games I played, so I might like the Rudo the best.
Yes. You mean the Rito?
Oh, the
Or the
Rito?
Gerudo?
Oh, Ruto's the princess, huh? I was thinking of the princess in, I think it was Ocarina. Her name was Ruto, but she was a Zora. So, yeah, got mixed up there. Rito, R-I-T-O, huh?
Yeah, because I couldn't tell what they said. The Ruto, like you meant the Gerudo or the Rito.
Yeah, I meant the Rito.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice enough. I think the only guy who's like a little bit standoffish is the guy you're supposed to work with. Play the Divine Beast, but almost straight away he stops being like that.
Yeah, that's nice then.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, there is the jerk though. Like the Rivali guy, he is kind of a jerk.
Oh.
At least in the flashbacks. But then again, once you do the thing, he's not a jerk to you anymore.
Well, that's good.
Dang it! I keep making the legs too long. It's my instinct.
I think my legs got a little long also, but oh well. I'll shorten them later if it's really a problem. So now for the arms, which are already long, they're also going to get bigger. So I've got a hand, a lower arm, an upper arm, and a shoulder.
You know, one thing you learn about the Zora in this game is like they're incredibly long-lived.
Yes.
Are they like that in the other games?
I remember in the other games they lived like maybe 500 years or something like that. I don't know if they live longer in the rest of the game.
Yeah, they. No, wait. I was saying. Oh no, wait. They live longer. Then it's like no, you're stuck in the thing for 100 years. So no. No, like I remember Zora are the only race that individuals who knew you before you pieced out are still alive.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It kind of makes me wonder, like, how long does each race live? But at the same time, I kind of don't want to know.
Yeah. So then let's separate this out into palm and finger. I don't think their fingers are very long, actually.
Ooh, I'm not doing well with Zora. Also, because I'm slower than you, because my sketches are way more messy, so I try to like clean them up a little bit so they're readable.
Yeah. I do that too when I'm drawing on my own. I think they have fins on the side of their arms, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Like at the elbow.
There. And then our last shape. Right over there. And for the other one, probably going to see a little bit of the thumb. First finger there, second finger, maybe third finger.
You know, part of me wants to start doing the thing where I try to draw at least one thing a day.
Me too.
However, I think, like, part of me, instead of doing, like, a list, I just want to draw, like, one Pokemon, because those guys are, like, easy enough.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to build a new habit, it's too hard if your subject that you're drawing is super hard and it's already hard to draw every day. So you might as well pick an easy subject and just work on the habit first.
Yeah. Remember that guy on DeviantArt who did that? That guy who's famous? Isn't he dead?
Which one?
The guy who I'm talking about, the guy who did it every day. I cannot remember if he's dead or not, or if I'm thinking of someone else.
Depends on their artwork. I know there was somebody who was doing like the animal puns every day, and they're still doing it every day, so I'm pretty sure they're still alive.
Yeah, the puns, yeah. I just remember, like, I'm pretty sure someone who, I thought, like, maybe I just, like, I don't know what's in my brain, but I thought that, like, at least this year, I think, like, just someone who is really famous like that died.
There was an anime artist that did, but I don't know if you knew her.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, it's the anime artist, the one who did, like, all the eye drawings. They're the ones who died. Because I thought it was, like, the pun artist. Why isn't my thing working? Oh, it's critical key, not... I kept trying to use shift. And couldn't figure out why it wasn't working.
We'll do one more.
Oh, Jesus, Zora's... it's not good. I'll just leave it. Oh. We'll do one more?
Yep.
Oh, you're talking to...
But I'm going to flip over my paper. Blank. So we're going to do kind of a crazy one, but here we'll have a stick. Whoops. This will be like a spear or something. And then we'll have one hand here. One hand maybe here. We're going to connect these as the arms.
Yeah, part of me, like, right now, wants to talk to you about, like, various lore, like, I wonder why that happened, but then I keep remembering, no one here has played it, but you.
Not yet.
I like how buff the Gerudo women are.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Because one thing is that bugs me is, like, when people try to draw buff women, but instead of, like, you know, adding, like, a lot of muscle, instead they just make them taller with a slight bit of muscle.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. If we've got, you know, super hulking guys like the Hulk and Superman and all that, you can make a tougher girl. This
I think
yeah.
She-Hulk looks cool sometimes. It depends on who's drawing her, though.
So we're going like around, they're spinning around this spear here. I'm about to like kick them or something. So let's zoom in. So for this part, I want this to go back into space. I want that one to come up and out. So on this shoulder, not shoulder, sorry, upper arm, we won't see the shoulder very much. But because of the elbow, this side's going to be straight. And also because the thumb side is here, this one will have the bump.
You know what? There's an artist I like who does live streams, but unfortunately, like, their live streams are almost always on the same, like, time when art class is going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Conflict of time slots.
Yeah. Also, they only ever do commissions. At least I'm pretty sure they only ever do it like during streams.
Mm.
Like you can't like get registered to like you have to be there. Like they won't take you. You can't
Yeah.
book it. You just have to be there and give them a donation, and then they'll do it. Yeah.
I
Man,
might
like,
take a sliver.
sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen like sometimes I'll just see someone online and I'll just think, oh, I want to commission them so bad. They've got such good prices and their art is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
And
my mom like at one point told me, hey, I'll let you like commission someone. But then we got into that whole debacle. Remember, Betsy, I was telling you about?
oh yeah, about having like a physical piece.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really want a physical piece,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be nice, but it's not like necessary. Like, it's not about like how the art isn't about like how the value it'll have in like 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's about like just
like right now.
yeah. But we kind of got into that mindset because apparently my grandma, long time ago, like there was this painter. I don't know anything about the painter other than the painter was famous for drawing beach sunsets. And like there were, I don't remember who they were or what they were called, but for some reason my grandma, she bought one, but instead of buying one, she just bought like a painting of strawberries.
Oh.
And she had that in her living room for years. And only like recently, when me and my mom were looking around for like trying to figure out the value, we found out that it was done by like a famous painter.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
And we gave it to like this like art thing where it's like, I guess she did a lot of pieces, so like there's an actual place you can go to where you can, like someone will take it, try to restore it, and then they'll sell it and you get part of the money.
Wow.
Yeah, so we donated there. However, I don't think we're gonna get it like soon for a while because it's not like what the artist is popular for. Yeah. I think it's been like a year or so since we did it, and we still haven't gotten anything. Oh well.
Probably a little bit longer torso than I originally did.
I think my grandma also had other paintings, but I'm pretty sure. Never mind.
She might have, not sure.
Yeah, I think she had other things, but those weren't like original paintings. Those were prints.
Oh, right.
Have you ever gotten like something or an original from someone?
No, never gotten an original. I usually either get prints because they're usually selling prints at conventions, or I think I've usually gotten digital work, which then I've printed out myself. But I don't think I've ever gotten originals just because they're so expensive. Because there was that guy that did the designs for X-Men Evolution, and I really loved the way he drew Nightcrawler. And I was going to buy an original, and it was something like $120 for a sketch. I didn't have that much money at the time, so there went that.
Oh geez, I just realized how much I messed up on this drawing, but it's too late. I don't want to work on it anymore. I'm just gonna keep on trucking.
Yep, just keep on trucking. Or even if it doesn't look like mine, you just go with what it feels like it wants to do.
Yeah, like definitely like this does not look like a woman. Yeah, I made the torso super duper short. So yeah. Okay, I'm curious. I was just thinking about it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when you said like we would design characters and then we would do like you would like DM a game with them?
Yeah.
Do you think that'll happen?
Well, at first we were hearing that the studio might open this month. So I'm like, oh, if it's going to open this month, I'll wait until we're back in real life before we do our Dungeons and Dragons. But now they're saying, no, it's probably going to be a while again because the cases in San Joaquin County are going up. So they don't know if we're going to open or not. So I'm saying, well, if we don't know when we're going to open, let's just learn how to play D&D online through Zoom, and then we can always play more games when we get back to the actual studio. But we haven't talked about it yet because we got to get the new classes for July and August going. So I've been working on that, but now that those are up on the calendar, maybe we'll go back to talking about D&D.
Yeah.
Game going.
Because I really, really want to play Dungeons and Dragons so bad, but I'm nervous about, going out into stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know there are some people who are, like, accepting, but, nah, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes, I'll tell my mom about it, and she'll be like, oh, you should ask Betsy if she'll let you play with one of her games. And I'll be like, no, I don't want to be, like, the only newbie in a bunch of, like people who played it for years.
Players, yeah. And I'll see if they'll let me do a D&D, like maybe at the end of the month. Actually, I don't think I'd even need that long to prep. Maybe like in 2 weeks, I can get it done.
I assume you'd be like
how to how to fill out the character sheet and like that.
Yeah.